Some of my favorite things about the Fallout series of games are their dark sense of humor.
What the f are you doing? My brother died at the Battle of Hoover Dam. You're desecrating a war memorial.
Pop culture references, and wild wasteland encounters. So, I decided let's have some fun and take a look at the wildest, craziest, and most outrageous mods created from all the games in the franchise. Some of them are downright offensive, and some others are silly jokes. Without further ado, let's start the show. In Fallout New Vegas, some of the worst things about being in the NCR are the possibility of getting crucified by the Legion, hanged by the Legion, burned alive by the Legion, and by fiends.
You bleed, bitch!
But the absolute worst thing about being in the NCR is that patrolling the Mojave makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
And those poor NCR troops can finally have their wishes come true. With this mod installed, every time the nuclear winter phrase is uttered by an NPC, that NPC will get targeted by a nuclear strike. Even if they're indoors, a cutscene will play from the outside of the interior showing a nuclear strike make its way to the building. How's that for a nuclear winter? Within your very first minutes of starting a new game in Fallout 4, you witness the murder of your wife, the kidnapping of your infant child, and get put back to cryogenic sleep, then awaken several decades later only to be met by the cruelty of the wasteland. And before you could even wrap your head around what's going on, you come in contact with one of the most annoying NPCs in Fallout history, none other than Preston Garvey.
It's good to meet someone who really cares. Anyway, I've had word from a settlement asking for help. I'll mark it on your map. You think you could go help out the settlement? By the way, I've had word from a settlement asking. I'll mark it on your map. You could go help out the settlement? Had word from a settlement. Had word from a settlement asking for help.
I cleared out that spot you sent me to and set up a radio beacon there.
That's great news. I have something else for you to look into. I'll mark it on your map. No! We'll find it. And I hope you don't mind, but I've got another favor to ask.
Needless to say, this character has become a meme among players in the Fallout community.
Another settlement needs our help. I'll mark it on your map.
Custom Health and AP Visuals is a mod for New Vegas that adds a few new features to the game's HUD. But unexpectedly, it also adds a secret encounter with Preston at the Yangtze Memorial.
On the balcony! The balcony! I said up here! I'm up here!
Making this a part of a totally unrelated mod was genius, because imagine modding your game for hours and finally getting to play, then this happens.
As usual, I got word of a settlement that needs our help. Nice. I'll mark it on your map.
You'd think Preston Garvey's ghost was haunting your PC. Speaking of annoying NPCs, the Mick and Ralph's Cryo Kid has been subject to a lot of abuse from the New Vegas community, simply because he won't shut the f up about the things they're not even allowed to sell, people. Only at Mick and Ralph's. I've put an end to this kid's life in a couple of my videos myself.
I can almost see right down the barrel.
But with the mod Mick and Ralph's Kid Crucified, I might just keep him alive for once.
Hello.
He'll finally feel the suffering he's induced upon our ears throughout his entire body. Every time he sees you passing by in Freeside, he'll wish for you to kill him. Every time you pass by wondering if today is the day the pain stops. Never. On a side note, get it because there's notes on the ground? With the Building Bridges mod installed, I found a bunch of notes some of you guys left for me next to the Cryo Kid. So now on top of being crucified, the kid has also become my mailbox. Roaming the capital wasteland, you'll come across many relics from the old world. Bethesda do a great job of painting a picture of what life was like before the bombs dropped. The best way they've done this is through the billboards scattered around the wasteland. One of the first ones you'll lay eyes on is the ad for Captain Cosmos. This comic book character has a TV show named after him where he travels through space with his sidekick, Jangles the Moon Monkey. It's a shame that we have yet to see some kind of encounter with this character in Fallout, or even any kind of content related to him by Bethesda like what they've done with the Silver Shroud. Luckily, we don't have to wait for that because modders have once again taken matters into their own hands. Captain Cosmos' suit and Jangles' companion is a mod for New Vegas, and it's pretty self-explanatory. The space suit can be found on the ground at the schoolyard in Goodsprings. As for Jangles, he'll instantly become your companion when you start the game. Essentially, with the mod you'll be able to roleplay as Captain Cosmos yourself. There also exists a mod for Fallout 4 that adds Jangles as a follower, simply named Jangles the Moon Monkey. However, all the mod does is pretty much breathe life into the stuffed toy from the game. Who would even want that as a companion? Just look at this creepy little f***er. While we're on the subject of space and encounters, playing through the Mothership Zeta DLC, you'll learn that Zetans have been abducting people long before the Great War and onwards. But outside the DLC, aliens have no presence in the game. And you'd think that surely you must have been able to spot a UFO or hear about their existence or even some abduction stories from NPCs. And finally, 15 years later, Amaker Zero creates a mod to fix this inconsistency. The mod Immersive Alien Abduction Encounters will add 5 alien abductions that take place at certain locations across the capital wasteland. The same mod also exists for Fallout New Vegas. This is one of those things that's been a long time coming. Why was this never featured in any Fallout game as part of the Wild Wasteland trade encounters in the first place?
And now for something completely different.
Do you want to make more caps? Are you an entrepreneur looking for a lucrative business opportunity? All you have to do is get pregnant. But don't be fooled. This is not the easy type of pregnancy that the normies go through. Your womb will be home to dogs, geckos, deathclaws, and even cazadors. With the mod Fertile Breeder. Yes, boys and girls, you heard that right. This mod is of course from Lover's Lab, and it'll have you getting pregnant with mutated animals' babies for caps. Because ranchers can always use more bighorners, and you just so happen to have a unique mutation that allows you to breed with them. You can also speak to Prime Victus in Cottonwood Cove and help them by letting Legion soldiers have their way with you, because the Legion can always use more Legionnaires. Who would have thought that your vagina and insatiable desire for more caps are what do in the NCR? But that's not all. The mod author also made sure to include a couple of quests that let you in on the mutation's origin. Lore, ladies and gentlemen, this man added lore to bestiality. Anyway, after you find the cause of the mutation, you will now be able to spread it to NPCs so that now all the female characters in the game will walk around with mutated fetuses inside of them. There's even an add-on mod that lets you have your own ranch of breeders. That's enough of that. Now let's try to regain a modicum of normalcy with this next mod. There's a series of mods on Nexus by It's Booby, dubbed Alternate Reality. Each installment of the series aims to bring some more variety by implementing a substitute outcome to certain encounters in the game. And Alternate Reality Malcolm Holmes is my favorite in the series. The vanilla encounter with Malcolm is boring at best. It's nothing more than just a way for the game to let you in on what the star bottle caps are. With this mod installed, there will be an alternate reality where for every star bottle cap you pick up, there's a 20% chance Malcolm will start stalking you to put an end to your star bottle cap obsession by putting a third bullet in your head. Basically, Malcolm will spawn and follow you around with a sniper rifle until you're dead. But if you manage to survive his ambush, you'll find a note on his body giving some much needed insight into his past. He's lost his sanity after witnessing crimes committed for the sake of finding the star bottle cap's ancient treasure, and is now on a mission to kill anyone who lays hands on a star bottle cap. You were just next on the list. In the vanilla conversation you have with Holmes, he mentions a guardian by the name of Festus that's supposedly protecting the Sunset Sarsaparilla treasure.
It's said that the treasure is guarded by a man named Festus.
Little did he know, he would become the guardian himself, roaming the Mojave, killing anyone that dares lay their hands on a star bottle cap in hopes of finding the ancient treasure. Speaking of the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters, New Vegas Fistus Follower will add Festus's badass brother as a companion. Unlike Festus, Fistus looks to be in good condition. He'll be using a Securitron skeleton and animations for functionality's sake, but I think the textures could have used a little more detailing, especially the shirt. Couple this with Nuka-Tron Assault and you'll get yourself a showdown between Nuka-Cola vending machines and the Sunset Sarsaparilla mascot. This is a bite-sized quest mod that starts when you approach a fella perched on top of the Sunset Sarsaparilla headquarters building. He needs your assistance in fending off the Nuka-Trons from the factory.
Hey, you down there! Grab a weapon and get your ass up here! They're coming!
They are animated Nuka-Cola vending machines that shoot out Nuka-Cola bottles and spout advertising slogans. Anyway, you basically play tower defense for 5 minutes, but the fun doesn't end there. If you possess the Robotics Expert perk, you can repair the Nuka-Trons to working condition, and they'll become your slaves. They come in handy quite soon as the area surrounding the factory is littered with fiends. Amongst the NPCs we all enjoy bullying like Swanwick and the Mick and Ralph Scryer Kid is also Private Kowalski.
What the fuck are you doing?
You, the courier, went through so much, and on your journey to find Benny, you make it to Boulder City. You've been holding it in this whole time on your travels, and you find the perfect spot to take a leak and simultaneously desecrate a war memorial.
Hello.
2 birds, 1 stone. But this time, Kowalski will kill you.
What the fuck are you doing?
With this mod, he's been armed with Remnant's power armor, has 10,000 HP, and a minigun that spits plasma. I never thought I'd think twice before bullying Kowalski, and now I don't even dare think about desecrating the war memorial.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Patrolling the Mojave almost... Patrolling the Mojave... Patrolling the Mojave... Patrolling the Mojave... I've got you now.
It would have been better if the mod also made him chase you forever to get his revenge, but unfortunately, if you just hide for a few minutes, he'll calm down and, strangely enough, won't even mind you putting a few bullet holes in the memorial. The classic Fallout's world was a lot more cruel. You could do some pretty evil things. I can recall in Fallout 2, you could use the NCR Vice President's own child to assassinate him by placing a bomb in the boy's pocket and blowing him up along with his father. You could also buy and sell slaves, even in Fallout 3. But in Fallout New Vegas, despite the presence of the Legion, you couldn't enslave anyone yourself. The mod Subjugation will bring this gameplay element from previous Fallouts back to New Vegas. Yes, I just described slavery as a gameplay element. Welcome to Fallout. This mod relies on another mod, Fatigue Overhaul, which will enhance non-lethal combat in the game. Now back to Subjugation. The way this mod implements capturing mechanics to the game is seamless. First, you get yourself a collar,
100 caps.
knock your target unconscious, interact with their body, then a menu will pop up, put a collar around their neck, wake them up, and then you'll have to choose where to send the NPC you've kidnapped.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Of course, you'll have the choice to send them to the Legion's Office of Slavery at Cottonwood Cove, or send them to a new faction that's been added to the game called the Manhunters. You'd first have to get yourself acquainted with Scribonius at the Office of Slavery, and Gunner, the leader of the Manhunters at Camp McCarran, to be able to send captured NPCs their way. Both characters are AI voice acted, and Gunner's dialogue is especially engaging with a ton of lore integration and backstory.
Before this, I was a member of the Slavers Guild, until the NCR put an end to that. But I don't dwell on the past.
The Manhunters actually feel like a plausible, well-rounded faction. They won't accept you capturing innocent NPCs. You can only send them criminals like fiends and powder gangers. As for the Legion, they don't care much about what NPCs you send them, and they will pay you an appropriate amount depending on the quality of the NPC you've captured. So, if it's an NCR soldier, you'd get paid more than if you captured a powder ganger. The mod will also add 2 new quests, one for the Legion and another for the Manhunters. That's all I'll say about the mod, cause I don't want to spoil too much. But I love mods like this. Mods that add more role-playing professions like bounty hunter, caravan guard, courier, boxer, and now slaver or manhunter. These types of mods immerse you in the game's world further and give you different ways to interact with its sandbox. Yeah, I'm basically saying that I love a mod that adds slavery to the game. And on that note, I'll see myself out.
YouTube never changes. Smash like and subscribe.